Jumping ahead to section 11.6, we are now going to solve systems of nonlinear equations, okay? There will be some linear equations in here, but they will be matched with other nonlinear equations. Now, when two lines intersect, they can only intersect in one place unless they're the exact same line. However, when we talk about nonlinear equations, you can understand that it's possible that you'll get more than one answer. What I have here, x squared plus y squared equals 34. This is a graph of a circle with center at the origin and a radius that is the square root of 34, while this is a line with a slope of 1 and y-intercept of -2. If I were to graph this, and I could do this on my calculator if I solve this for y also, but it will kind of look like this. You'll get this circle with a radius of almost 6, and then y equals x minus 2 will kind of come through like that. So you'll notice there's going to be two solutions to this equation. Now we want to find those algebraically, okay? And we can verify it graphically as well, and we'll go over that in class. So, how do I start? Well, we have two methods. We can use substitution or elimination. Now elimination doesn't work so well here because this equation has x and y squared and this only has x and y. Substitution will work great here because you'll notice y is already by itself. So if y is equal to x minus 2, I can take x minus 2 and substitute it for y in the other equation. Okay? So what I have then is x squared plus, in place of y, I'm going to put x minus 2. Now don't forget, this isn't just a y, it's a y squared. So this quantity has to be squared. And now that equals 34. So now if I can solve this for x, I'll know x and I can then figure out y. So let's see, what should I do first here? I want to square x minus 2. Make sure you understand that this is a binomial. It's x minus 2 times x minus 2. If I multiply that out, I'll get x squared minus 4x in the middle and then plus 4. Common mistake for people to just put x squared plus 4. Be careful of that. Now this is a quadratic. I'm going to need to get everything on one side and combine like terms. So x squared and x squared give me 2x squared minus 4x, and then 4 minus 34 is a negative 30. I notice these terms all have a common factor of 2, which will make it easier to factor. So that'll give me x squared minus 2x minus 15. And now that should make this a little easier to deal with. X squared is simply x times x. 15 is either 1 times 15 or 5 times 3. It looks like a negative 5 and a positive 3 will multiply to negative 15 and also add to a negative 2x when I do the outer and inner terms. So I've got two values for x. I've got x equals 5 or negative 3 using the zero product property. So now I need to plug these x values back in for x in either equation, but this one is much easier because y is already by itself. So if I put x equals 5 in, I've got y equals 5 minus 2, which is 3. So one solution is if x is 5, y is 3. That must be this answer up here. Now, if x is negative 3, then y equals negative 3 minus 2, and that would be negative 5. So the other solution is the point where x is negative 3 and y is negative 5, and that must be the other solution on there. So I've got two answers for that one. And there we go. Okay. Now, this next problem, I've got some similar looking conic section type equations, and we learned about conic sections in your Algebra 2 course. This, whenever there's a minus, and x squared and y are squared and they're subtracted, we know that's a hyperbola. And there's nothing added or subtracted from x or y, so the center will be at the origin. And here we have, when they're added but the coefficients are different, that will be an ellipse. So I'm trying to find out where this hyperbola and ellipse would cross one another. Now, this is a horizontal ellipse, so it looks something like, and again, you can solve for y and graph these on your calculator. but it'll look something like this. Will be that hyperbola. And then the ellipse will also be horizontal and will look something like this. So look at this. There could be up to 4 different solutions here. Now, if the ellipse is really small, it could have been possible that there are no solutions. Maybe the ellipse doesn't cross it at all. Or maybe it just touches at the vertices and there's 2 solutions. So there can be anywhere up to 4 solutions. We've got to be aware of that, okay? Now this time everything's squared, so I think this time elimination would work very well. If I can multiply this equation by a -2, I'll get the x squareds to cancel. So I've got the first equation, 2x squared minus 3y squared is 6, so I'm going to leave alone. But multiplying by this by -2, I've now got -2x squared minus 4y squared is -34. So those cancel. And now look what I have here. -7y squared is -28. Dividing by -7, I've got y squared is 4. And be careful here, dividing or taking the square root, I get y equals plus or minus 2. So we have 2 possible answers for y to plug back in. Where do I plug them? Again, any equation with an x and a y in it. This one looks pretty nice. I'm going to try that one. So let's take this and say x squared plus 2 times y squared. Now first, let's put in y equals 2. So if I put 2 in there, let's see what happens. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So that says x squared plus 8 is 17. So subtracting 9, or subtracting 8 to get 9, and then taking the square root, I get positive or -3. So what happened? Well, I put in 2 for a y value, and I got not only +3, but also I've got -3. So this graph is going to go through 3, 2, and through -3, 2. Okay? Now, I still have to put in -2. Well, look at this. If I put -2 in instead, I'm up here. -2 squared is still 4. 4 times 2 is still 8. I'm going to get the same answers. So when I put in -2, I also get in positive or -3. So -2 gives me a +3, and -2 gives me a -3. And those are my all other 2 answers, 3, -2, and -3, -2. And you can see there were 4 solutions to that one. Okay, let's go on to the next. Okay, this one, I have another ellipse. X and y are squared with different coefficients, and they're being added. And here, only one of them is squared. This is a parabola. But you notice it's not x that's squared, it's y that's squared. So it's going to be one that opens either right or left. So this graph, if I would graph it, this one would look like a vertical ellipse and a parabola that opens, let's see, to the right. Not sure exactly where the vertex is. So here's the thing. Once again, I could get 4 answers if the parabola looks like that. If the vertex was somewhere inside the ellipse, then maybe I would only get 2 solutions. Or maybe it's right on the ellipse and I get 3 solutions. So again, we could get anywhere up to 4 answers here. Okay? We could also get none if the parabola is over here. It might never cross the ellipse. Okay? Or it might be none because it crosses here and it misses it to the outsides. Now, this one is kind of interesting. I got 2 y squareds here. I can eliminate those y's simply by multiplying this by a -1. So if I do that, I have 9x squared plus y squared is 36. And then multiplying by a -1, I've got a positive 9x minus y squared is -8. Now those cancel. So I have 9x squared plus 9x equals to 28. Let's try to get everything on one side here. 9x squared plus 9x minus 28 equals 0. So now I need to factor this. So trying to factor this, let's see here. I have no common factors that I can factor out. Let's see, if I go 3x times 3x, can I make that work? Yes, I can. I could call this 7 times 4. That would be 28, but it's a negative 28. I need this 21x to be positive, minus the 12x, which will result in 9x. There we go. So it factors very nicely, actually. So you get two answers using the zero product property. X is 4/3 and x is negative 7/3. So let's plug those values in. What if x is 4/3, first of all? Let's look at this second equation here. I get negative 9 times 4/3 plus y squared is 8. Multiplying this, negative 9 times 4 is negative 36/3. That's negative 12. Adding 12 and taking the square root, I get positive or negative square root of 20. So what happened? I put in 4/3 and I got the positive square root of 20, and I also got negative square root of 20. Now I'm going to try to substitute negative 7/3. All right, so now negative 9 times negative 7/3 plus y squared is 8. So 63 divided by 3, that'd be 21 plus y squared is 8. Subtract 21, uh-oh, negative 13. I can't take the square root of a negative. So negative 7/3 doesn't have any solution, so it's only going to cross 2 times. So it must have looked something with vertex was inside and it only crosses twice. Or it could have looked, that would have been 4 of them. The only other way it could cross twice is if it was just tangent to the graph and I kind of missed it there, right at the ends of the graph, and only crossed twice. Last example, and I might run out of time, so you might have to finish this one off, but the beginning is the weird part. You notice here there's an xy in the middle. I could get these x squareds to cancel or the y squareds, but I'd still have a kind of a goofy situation here. So the quickest way to do this is to take that equation with that xy in it when that happens, and you can't even solve for x or y. It doesn't work well, okay? Because y, if you solve for y, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to solve for x. So what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate one of the variables. Now, multiplying this by a negative 1 would make it really easy to cancel out the x squareds. But watch what happens. I've got xy minus y squared. I'm sorry, I can combine those y squareds. I got xy, negative 6y squared and negative y squared is negative 7y squared, equals 0 minus 10, which is negative 10. I still have x's and y's. However, now I can solve this for x pretty easily. I can add 7y squared to the other side and then divide by y. Now that I have an expression for x, I can plug this into either of the two equations. Now this one looks a little bit easier to me. So x squared, so this whole thing, squared, plus y squared equals 10. Well, I'm going to have to square this. So the numerator is binomial, so square the first term. That'd be 49y to the fourth. Remember, it's 7y squared minus 10 times another 7y squared minus 10. So you're going to get negative 70y squared doubled for the middle term. That's negative 140y squared. And then a negative 10 squared, which is 100. Don't forget to also square the denominator. That'll give you y squared. And then plus y squared equals 10. Now, I don't like that y in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply everything by y squared. I'm going to move my face here. So I'm going to multiply everything by y squared. So it will now, the y squared here will cancel. So I will get 49y to the fourth. I've got to plug in my battery, otherwise I'm going to lose the rest of the video. I only got about a minute left, 30 seconds actually. So I'll have 49y to the fourth minus 140y squared plus 100. Multiply the second term by y squared, you'll get y to the fourth equals, multiply 10 by y squared, you get 10y squared. To finish, just get everything on one side and then factor. Okay, and I'm going to run out of time, so Try this on your own.